Nobody expected a single goal to become one of football's greatest mysteries. Thousands of fans celebrated, players reacted instantly, and commentators believed the ball had crossed the line. But just seconds later, confusion took over the entire stadium. Had a goal really been scored, or had everyone been fooled? The truth behind football's so-called invisible goal is far stranger than most fans realize. Welcome back to GameBlueprint. Today, we're uncovering one of the most bizarre moments in football history. It's a story that exposed the limits of human judgment, sparked endless debates among fans, and eventually helped change the way football is officiated forever. Before goal line technology and VAR became part of the game, every crucial decision depended entirely on the referee and assistant referee. They had only a split second to judge whether a ball had crossed the line. Most of the time they got it right, but sometimes football produced moments so unusual that even experienced officials were left completely confused. One of those moments became known as the invisible goal. The match itself had been tense from the opening whistle. Both teams knew how important the result was, and neither side was willing to give away even the smallest advantage. Every tackle mattered, every chance created excitement, and the atmosphere inside the stadium became more intense with every passing minute. Then everything changed in an instant. A perfectly timed pass found the striker inside the penalty area. Without taking an extra touch, he fired a powerful shot toward goal. The goalkeeper had no chance of stopping it. The crowd exploded as the ball appeared to fly into the net. But only a second later, the ball was back outside the goal. Players froze in confusion. Some celebrated. Others continued playing. Even the goalkeeper hesitated because he wasn't completely sure what had happened. The referee looked toward his assistant, searching for confirmation. For several long seconds, nobody seemed certain whether a goal had actually been scored. What happened next changed everything. The officials gathered to discuss the incident while thousands of supporters waited anxiously. The attacking players insisted the ball had crossed the line. The defending team argued the shot had missed. With no replay and no technology to help, the decision depended entirely on what the officials believed they had seen. When play finally resumed, the controversy had only just begun. Television cameras later revealed what made the incident so extraordinary. The ball had entered the goal through a small hole or loose section in the side netting before immediately bouncing back onto the field. From many angles, it looked as though the shot had gone wide. From others, it was clearly a goal. It was an optical illusion that fooled almost everyone. Nobody saw this coming. Fans inside the stadium argued for hours. Television commentators replayed the footage repeatedly. Newspapers published photographs from different angles, each one seeming to tell a different story. Depending on where you were sitting or which replay you watched first, you could honestly believe either decision was correct. The controversy spread far beyond that single match. Football experts began asking uncomfortable questions. How could officials accurately judge incidents happening in less than a second? What if a championship, a cup final, or even a World Cup was decided by a mistake like this? The invisible goal became more than just a strange moment. It became proof that football needed a better solution. However, the story didn't end there. Similar incidents continued to appear in football over the following years. Powerful shots occasionally found damaged sections of the net, creating confusion for players, referees, and supporters. Although these moments were rare, every new controversy added more pressure on football's governing bodies to improve the accuracy of officiating. Technology slowly became part of the conversation. Many people resisted the idea at first. They believed mistakes were simply part of football. Debates after matches had always been part of the sports culture, and some feared technology would remove the game's emotion. Others completely disagreed. They argued that players spend years preparing for important matches. Clubs invest millions building competitive teams. Fans dedicate their lives supporting their clubs. Losing because a referee couldn't clearly see what happened in a fraction of a second simply wasn't fair. The invisible goal became one of the strongest examples used during those discussions. Eventually, football introduced goal line technology. Using high-speed cameras and advanced tracking systems, referees could instantly know whether the entire ball had crossed the line. Within seconds, a signal appeared on the referee's watch, removing almost all doubt. It wasn't designed to replace referees. It was designed to help them during moments where human vision simply wasn't enough. Things were about to change forever. Goal line technology quickly proved its value. Decisions that once caused weeks of arguments could now be resolved almost instantly. While debates still existed over penalties, fouls, and offsides, one of football's oldest controversies had finally found a reliable solution. The invisible goal also changed the way stadiums prepared for matches. Goal nets began receiving much more detailed inspections before kickoff. Officials checked for holes, loose connections, and damaged sections that could create similar confusion in the future. A problem many people had once considered insignificant suddenly became an important part of match preparation. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is how easily the human brain can be fooled. Players reacted based on instinct. Fans reacted based on their viewing angle. Referees reacted based on what they thought they had seen. In a game played at incredible speed, even the smallest detail can completely change reality. What looked obvious from one side of the stadium appeared completely different from another. That is what made the invisible goal so unforgettable. It wasn't just about whether the ball crossed the line. It was about perception, pressure, and the impossible decisions referees had to make before technology existed. For one brief moment, thousands of people watched the exact same event but walked away believing completely different versions of what had happened. Even today, the incident remains one of football's strangest stories. Modern technology has made similar mistakes far less common, but the mystery still reminds us how unpredictable football can be. Sometimes the biggest moments aren't incredible goals or famous trophies. Sometimes they're the moments that leave everyone asking the same question. Did that really happen? The invisible goal will always be remembered as more than just a controversial decision. It became a turning point in football history, influencing the way matches are officiated and proving that even the world's most popular sport can still produce moments that seem almost impossible to believe. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe,